Have you ever been playing a video game, done something super cool and thought to yourself, wow, I wish I could do that in real life? Of course you have. I mean, there's a reason that every single trick we learn nowadays is called a hack or a life cheat code. The crazy things we are able to do in video games have become so influential that they have become a part of 21st century culture, expanding beyond just gaming culture. And so today we are going to take the time to celebrate 7 awesome superhuman abilities that we get inside of video games. As you're watching this, make sure to let me know down in the comments if you wish you had any of these abilities in real life, or if there are any superhuman abilities from video games that aren't on this list that you just think are really cool. If you don't really have anything to say, but you still want to be benevolent and helpful, just comment your favorite emoji. Your engagement is a massive help to the channel. And of course, while you're down there commenting, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell, so you get notifications for new videos like this. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about 7 awesome superhuman abilities that we get inside of video games. For entry number 1, I was split between 2 different games with 2 different abilities, but honestly, they both accomplish the same general idea. So for this entry, we are going to go with the ability to shoot with unparalleled accuracy, inspired from Deadeye in Red Dead Redemption 2 and VATS from Fallout 4. From a sheer gameplay perspective, these 2 mechanics are foundational to success in their respective games. I mean, in Fallout 4, if your lowly Vault Hunter is going to be pitted against a giant Mirelurk Queen, I think it's only fair that we get a 75% chance to just land every single bullet from a minigun on their weak spot. It's also cool to have the ability to, launch a mini nuke from a mile away with incredible precision to hit the antenna on an ant. And we throw on that critical hit we've been banking just for a little extra fun. If you fancy Red Dead Redemption 2, Deadeye essentially allows you to become Gene Wilder from Blazing Saddles. The ability to see like 9 people in front of you and you just gun them all down in an instant, all with headshots, is absolutely insane. But again, it's only fair when the law outnumbers you like 50-1 just because you accidentally disturbed the peace by dragging a dead body through town. It wasn't us, Sheriff. We just found him. We were delivering the evidence to you and you thank us by mobbing and shooting at us. Unreal. And if you choose to use your powers for good rather than evil, the ability to shoot the gun out of someone's hand during a duel is not only benevolent, but of course just also really cool. I won't lie, at this point whenever I play Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't know if I kill anyone without turning on Deadeye first. As an unfortunate side effect, my Arthur Morgan has a massive smoking and drinking problem. But hey, we do what we have to do to keep those cores up, right? Entry number 2 brings us one of maybe the most insane abilities I've ever seen in a video game. Now, I just want you to imagine what this would look like in real life. Imagine you're driving down the road, you get to an intersection, you have the green light, you proceed to drive through said intersection, and all of a sudden, a pedestrian just walks out in front of you with absolutely no time for you to slow down your car. A collision is imminent. Now imagine a split second before you hit the person, they do something wild. They somersault in front of your car. Now mind you, they don't somersault fast enough to get around your car, you still hit them, but that person for some reason just stays there as you drive through them, kind of, and they are completely unaffected by this collision. Yeah, that's what iframes would look like in real life that you see in the likes of Soulsborne games such as Elden Ring and Dark Souls. The idea behind iframes is absolutely insane, and it's not like dodging an attack or some form of harm at the last second is new to the video game industry or entertainment industry. I mean, James Bond has basically made a career out of avoiding bullets and explosions at the last second. But iframes are the first instance where the attacking party can literally hit you, but because you're in a rolling motion, you're just like, fine, I guess? Again, it's only fair if you get some sort of advantage facing an enemy as massive as the Tower Knight or the Tree Sentinel. But can you imagine this from the perspective of the Tree Sentinel? Imagine this was a multiplayer game and this was the Tree Sentinel versus you. The Tree Sentinel would be screaming at their computer yelling, I've hit this guy like 30 times. How has he taken no damage? Elden Ring has basically become Morrowind for the Tree Sentinel, where they're just stabbing someone a bunch of times, but only one of them maybe hits. It's an insane ability, but that's one of the reasons we love it. Entry number 3 is a power that, if it existed in real life, would be massively terrifying, and that is going to be the ability to command followers from Middle-earth Shadow of War. Now, while it may be terrifying, let's be realistic about the use case for this ability. There is about a 0% chance that you would be able to use this like you could in the game and create an army of loyal subjects that are willing to die for you and essentially take over the world. I know that sounds great in theory, but here's the thing. It might start to look a little suspicious when 95% of the population around town is walking around with a blue handprint tattooed on their face, and you're one of the only people that isn't. At some point, someone who isn't a slave yet is going to think that maybe there are some shenanigans at play. Additionally, it's a pretty bold play to just walk up to someone and grab them by the face in order to turn them into one of your servants. I may be a regular gym goer now, but there's no chance I'm going to walk up to The Rock and try to grab him by the face in order to turn him into my loyal subject. Now, all of that being said, it may not be quite as suspicious if you were to come into my office one day and just see one of my colleagues that has a new blue handprint tattoo on their face and they just happen to be doing my work for me. Again, as long as you decide to use this power responsibly, you could probably live a far more leisurely life with fewer responsibilities and, most importantly, more time for gaming. Now, entry number 4 is going to sound like an exact copy of entry number 3, but I would argue there are some very fundamental differences here. Entry number 4 is going to be Force Persuasion from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And you know, the rest of the Star Wars universe. But hey, we had to pick a video game to assign this to. First off, remember, Force Persuasion is always a game of mind over matter. The power of your muscles is insignificant next to the power of the Force. So while I might not have the chance to command The Rock into being one of my loyal followers by grabbing his face, I might be able to persuade him into doing a task for me using the Force. Additionally, Force Persuade isn't permanent, so it's slightly more humane and legitimate than, turning people into your slaves. Finally, and maybe most importantly, there are no physical indicators that someone is doing your bidding whenever you use Force Persuasion. Other than the fact, that they repeat exactly what you say in a very monotonous voice, there's no red flag, or really a blue flag, tattooed on their face indicating that their mind has now been permanently flayed by your will. And I'll be honest, if I have to pick between one of these two, I'll definitely pick Force Persuasion. I don't need to be the ruler of the world with an army of servants at my side. I just want the ability to get a raise in my job, or maybe encourage my boss to let my entire team take the day off. Or a week off. Is that too much to ask? Entry number 5 is going to be Necromancy, which I know occurs in a lot of different video games, whether it be Divinity Original Sin 2, Skyrim, there are really too many to name. But I think depending on your potential use case for Necromancy, you could probably assign it to a more specific video game. I think there are 2 types of people in the real world that would be interested in Necromancy as a power. One might be if you wanted to be a benevolent soul and you wanted to try to help the people who had maybe just lost a loved one and help them reconnect beyond the grave. And by the way, in this fictitious world, we're assuming that the powers of Necromancy are able to bring someone back and not just as a mindless zombie that makes really annoying moaning noises. I feel like you're either that person, or option 2, where you just literally become the Night King from Game of Thrones. In video games, though, we're always the Night King. I mean, that is just a massive power, and that's why Necromancy is generally an incredibly broken ability. In Divinity Original Sin 2, Necromancers literally have the ability to just feign death. Like, you can kill them, and they just get 1 free pass at death. They're like a cat, except they only have, 2 lives. It's absolutely insane, and the reason why I didn't get to ascend to Divinity when I did my co-op playthrough of the game, and one of my friends was a Necromancer. Yeah, I'm not salty about it or anything. You could also do what I did in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim when I got the Platinum Trophy. I just continually raised an army of the dead and grew my zombie army until it eventually crashed my PS5. Every single time I sacked a city, I would wait 24 hours, and I would have just absorbed another 40 or 50 souls to add to my undead army to attack the next town. I truly was the Night King. Regardless of how you want to use it though, we have to agree that Necromancy is an insanely overpowered ability, and it's probably for the best that it doesn't actually exist. For our penultimate entry, we are going to have an ability that doesn't actually seem like an ability. It's something that is so built into the core foundations of games that we don't even think about the fact that we do it all the time. However, there are some games that actually take this and turn it into a gameplay mechanic, and that is going to be saving and reloading. Can you imagine the raw power you would wield with the ability to save and reload your real life? Did you send a risky text to a girl on Bumble and get rejected? Just hit the reload button. Did you invest all of your money into cryptocurrency and then lose all of it? Save and reload, invest in something else and just keep trying this until you get something that goes up 800%. Saving and reloading would basically break life as we know it. A couple of games that actually turn this power into a gameplay mechanic are Undertale and Life is Strange. In Undertale, it's not abundantly clear just how powerful saving and reloading is until Photoshop Flowey starts using it against you in the final battle to keep killing you over and over again so you can't win. They also rub it in your face and remind you that they're going to just keep saving and reloading and killing you for the rest of forever, basically. We also see Max Caulfield use the ability to rewind time, which for the record is basically saving and reloading, in an effort to do nice things and altruistic acts like saving her classmates from getting shot. We learn, however, that not everything is as nice as it seems, and while Max is trying to do nice things, it's really messing with the space-time continuum and hacking the mainframe and basically somehow causing a massive tornado to wipe out her town. This power may seem subtle, but once you think about it, it has some dastardly implications. Our final entry brings us to a power that almost everyone wishes they had, but if they actually had it would realize that A, they didn't want it, B, they didn't know how to use it, or C, they are really, really bad at using it. This ability is going to be the ability to redefine or control traffic at will. We've all been at an intersection at one point in our lives and thought, wow, that light stays red for way too long, or how is that green light already going back to red again? Or sometimes maybe we're driving down a busy street and we're wondering, how are there not more lanes of traffic on this road? It's way too busy. We've all thought that we knew traffic patterns and traffic logic better than the people that designed them, and I can't rule out, and sometimes that might actually be true. However, Cities Skylines tells us that no, you actually don't. Cities Skylines gives you the unique opportunity to listen to all of your citizens complain about how bad you are at designing traffic systems. If you're like me and lack basically all levels of creativity, your solution to basically any traffic pattern is just more roundabouts, and at some point, you'll run out of the ability to make roundabouts. Trust me guys, if we had this power, we would just piss each other off. So let's just agree to never try to usurp this power. If you don't believe me, go play Cities Skylines for a few hours to ground yourself in just how much traffic designing sucks. So that'll do it for us. 7 superhuman abilities we have in video games and how sometimes they would interact with our real lives. Do you wish you had any of these powers in real life? How would you use them? Let me know down in the comments. Again, if you don't have anything to say about superhuman abilities, just comment your favorite emoji. Your engagement is a massive help to the channel. It's also worth mentioning that you're here at the end of the video, which means you liked the video, so hit the like button. And while you're doing that, you might as well hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notifications for new videos like this. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.